need to move along, Pops. This isn't a shelter." The voice was sharp, laced with the kind of impatient authority that only youth and a crisp new uniform can produce. The security guard, a young man named Kent with a jawline tighter than his tie, jabbed a thumb over his shoulder toward the gleaming glass and steel facade of the federal building. "This is government property. No loitering." The old man didn't flinch. He just stood there, a frail silhouette against the harsh afternoon sun, his worn tweed jacket looking a century out of place, his thin white hair and deeply lined face giving him an air both fragile and immovable. His winter sky eyes were clear and steady, and he held a small crumpled paper bag in one hand. "I have an appointment," he said in a low, gravelly whisper. Kent laughed derisively. "An appointment with who? The janitor?" And told him to clear the area unless he had a meeting with the president. A few pedestrians slowed to watch, and Kent puffed up under the attention. "My name is Samuel," the old man said, stepping toward the entrance. Kent blocked him with a hand to the chest, reminding him no one enters without ID in a post-9/11's world. Samuel calmly replied that he didn't have one, prompting Kent to mock him loudly for the crowd before insisting he move on. Samuel looked past him toward the marble lobby as though Kent were merely a temporary inconvenience, repeating that they were expecting him. Kent demanded a name. Silence stretched as Samuel searched for a word, the city noise fading until Kent shook him sharply, snapping him into a memory mud. Jungle rot, enemy helicopters, a dying boy named Peterson. The weight of a garrote wire and a forbidden mission deep in a place that didn't officially exist. Then Kent's voice dragged him back. Phones were recording, the crowd thicker. Samuel saw only a boy in a uniform pretending at authority. "You want a name?" he said, his voice harder now. He had no legal identity, but he had the only name that mattered. Black Viper. Kent burst out laughing and reached for his radio to call backup. But the name caught in someone else's mind. Sarah, a DOD analyst and historian of redacted files. She recognized it from a heavily censored Cold War document referencing Operation Serpent's Tooth, led by Black Viper, presumed total loss. Her pulse spiking, she called a Forbidden's emergency number. Reporting the name brought a long, terrible silence. Then a voice stripped of calm ordering her to keep him there, not let him leave. And not let anyone touch him. "A containment team is en route. ETA 2 minutes. The line went dead. A containment team. Sarah's blood ran cold. What had she just done? On the sidewalk, Kent was still preening, enjoying his moment of power. "All right, show's over, folks," he announced to the crowd, grabbing Samuel's thin arm. "Let's go, Vapor. Time for your cage. Get your hands off him." The voice cut through the air like a razor. It wasn't loud, but it carried an authority that made Kent's command sound like a child's whining. Two black sedans materialized at the curb, their doors opening in perfect synchrony as men in dark suits and earpieces formed the perimeter. They weren't police, they were something else entirely. From the lead car stepped a man in his late 60s, ramrod straight in a tailored suit, with silver hair cut with military precision and piercing. Intelligent eyes, General Marcus Harding, retired chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, whose picture hung in the very building behind them. Kent froze, his hand dropping from Samuel's arm as he recognized the general. "Sir, I was just..." But Harding didn't even look at him. His entire focus was on the frail old man in the tweed jacket. He walked forward, silent as a shadow, stopping 2 feet from Samuel as the crowd held its breath. Then General Harding straightened, snapped his heels together, and delivered the sharpest salute of his life. "Colonel," Harding said, his voice thick with reverence, "Sir, you're alive." Samuel looked at him, recognition flickering in his winter sky eyes, and gave a slow nod. "It's been a long time, Marcus." Harding lowered the salute and turned his icy gaze on Kent, now pale and trembling. "What is your name, son?" "Kent, sir." "Officer Kent. Do you have any idea who you just laid your hands on? Harding demanded, addressing the entire crowd now. This man is Colonel Samuel Croft, a man the country declared dead 40 years ago to protect him from the enemies he made in our name. The name he gave you, Black Viper, was not a joke. It was the call sign for the commander of MSCV's most covert, most effective, and most deniable special operations team, the Spectres. They didn't officially exist. They went where no one else could go, did what no one else would do, and turned the tide of battles never recorded in history books. Every member of his unit came home in flags except one. Colonel Croft survived, spending 18 months in a hole in the ground before fighting his way 1,000 miles through enemy territory with intelligence that saved an entire American division. His medals are so secret, they don't have names. His file has no photograph, no service number, only one name, Black Viper. And you, Harding said to Kent, you called him Pops and threatened to arrest him. Silence crushed the crowd. Kent looked ready to faint, his arrogance gone, replaced by humiliation and tears. Sir, Colonel, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. He stepped forward, but Samuel raised a hand, stopping him. The uniform doesn't make the man, Samuel said quietly. It only gives you the chance to show what kind of man you are. Your actions do the rest. You judged what you saw on the outside. That's a mistake a man in your position can't afford. In my old job, mistakes like that got people killed. Learn from it, son. That's all anyone can ask. He turned to Harding. Is the room ready? Yes, Colonel. They're waiting for you. The security detail formed a protective wedge as Harding guided Samuel toward the entrance. As they passed, Samuel's eyes met Sarah's, and he gave her a tiny nod, a silent thank you. She swallowed a lump in her throat, realizing she had helped preserve the dignity of a legend whose story was never meant to see daylight. The federal building's doors opened, and Harding escorted him inside. The crowd silently parted as the frail man was treated like royalty. In the crumpled paper bag, the corner of a small framed photograph peeked out, likely of the last member of his unit, whose memorial he had traveled all this way to visit. Officer Kent stood alone on the sidewalk, a statue of shame, his authority hollow, his pride crumbled. He finally understood that respect isn't demanded, but earned through character and sacrifice. He had stood before greatness and been blind to it. That moment would be his own private hole in the ground, one he'd fight to climb out of for the rest of his life. The stories of heroes like Colonel Croft are written in shadows and whispers, not headlines. They walk among us quietly, asking for no recognition, only that we remember the values they fought for. That we see the hero hidden inside the quiet stranger, and honor the sacrifices etched into the lines of an old man's face. Their battles may be over, but ours, the battle for respect, humility, and truly seeing people, is fought every day. If this story reminded you of the dignity of our veterans, please like and share so more people remember to look deeper and honor the hidden heroes among us. Subscribe for more stories that celebrate the unsung guardians of our freedom.